So years ago, my husband Ryan and I went to prenatal class when we were pregnant with our son Sawyer. Sawyer was my third child, so I had already given birth before, but Sawyer was Ryan's first newborn baby. And so we wanted to be able to have this experience together. We went to the hospital to go to our prenatal class, and we talked to some other parents, and we took notes diligently, and we practiced breathing exercises. And then as we were leaving the class and we're walking out of the hospital, I was having this big feeling kind of moment, this real deep moment in my life. We're walking out of the hospital and I'm just thinking about the bliss of inviting new life into the world and how thankful I am to do this with Ryan. And I was talking about the class and what I learned and maybe some of the other couples that maybe we could ask if they wanted to get lunch the next time, those kind of things. And as I'm walking out in this blissful, serene moment, I look over at my husband who's standing there looking up in the hospital atrium. And I said, Ryan, what do you think? What do you think about the class, honey? And he looks at me and he says, huh? I said, well, what did you think about the class? And he said, well, I don't know, but I think that these are preformed concrete walls. And I said, what? He goes, I think these are preformed concrete walls in the hospital here. You see, Ryan, he missed the entire conversation, this whole moment I was trying to have with him just to stare at these walls. My husband, Ryan, is an architect and contractor, and this is what he does all the time when he walks into buildings. He sees buildings not the way that I see them, but he sees buildings in pieces and in parts. And it drives him absolutely crazy when things don't line up exactly. And he can tell you whether or not the person installing whatever they installed did a good job or if they took shortcuts. He does all these things that I never really pay attention to and these things that I never really see. And I'll be honest, sometimes these things I don't really actually even care about at all. But for me, when it comes to the Bible and theology, I can point out all of the preformed concrete walls all around me. So this week, the staff and I, we're going to have some fun with you. We're going to address some common misconceptions, some things that people think are in the Bible, but actually are not in the Bible. Things like the rapture. People talk about the rapture. That doesn't actually exist in the Bible at all. Or there's no Antichrist in the book of Revelation at all. Or even when people say the book of Revelations, there's no S on there. It's not plural revelations. It's just one single revelation. So this week, we're going to beef up our biblical knowledge and our fluency when it comes to addressing some common myths that most Christians have about what the Bible says. Some of these myths we got from Hollywood, kind of growing up, and some of them from well-intended Sunday school teachers who were just trying to do their best to make the story that much more dramatic. And some of these things, they've just been accepted as common knowledge. So here is your fun fact for today. The Sabbath is not Sunday. Haha, that's right. The Sabbath is not Sunday. The Sabbath, it's called this day of rest. And actually, according to the Bible, it is on Saturday. In Hebrew, the word Shabbat or Sabbath means the end of the week, the seventh day of the week. This day represents God resting in all of creation, which comes not on Sunday, but on Saturday, Shabbat. On that day, we're supposed to be the day where we rest and we worship to mirror the rhythm that God created in the beginning of the world. So then it gives us the question, how did Christians start to think about Sabbath being on Sunday? Well, it actually starts in the Bible in Matthew chapter 28. Jesus in Matthew chapter 27 has died and there is great mourning. But on the 28th chapter, Matthew writes, after the Sabbath, at dawn on the first day of the week, which we call Sunday, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to go look in the tomb. You see, it was after the Sabbath that Jesus was found to be risen. And early Christians, actually, they practiced worship or Sabbath every single day. In Acts chapter 2, it actually says, day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts. They practiced Sabbath every single day. It wasn't actually until 361 AD when Community Worship Day became Sunday. And then it was even not known as Sunday, but it was called the Lord's Day. So Sunday, the day after the Sabbath, actually became this traditional time in 360 and after that for Christians to worship and to take a break. Isn't that a fun fact for today? So whenever you spend your Sabbath, whether it's Shabbat on Saturday or the Lord's Day on Sunday, I think the key is really to take time and rest. To take that time to be with your God and your Creator, maybe even just in a 7-minute daily dose. To take that time to discover what's really in the Bible. To take that time to just let yourself be loved by God. Thanks so much for joining me here on this daily dose. I'm really honored that you're spending time with me today. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I want to invite you to share and subscribe. And if you're joining us on cable access, thanks so much for being here. We'll see you again tomorrow as we unpack the mysteries of the Bible.